Chapter 2. Facets of Cunning. What follows is a list of competencies that any aspiring Machiavellian must master. They are basic and necessary, not advanced or supplementary. All are tools to be used or withheld depending on your own discretion. With any skill, it's impossible to learn and memorize how to deal with every possible situation, and Machiavellianism, or cunning, is no exception. What you can do is master the basics, and train your intuition such that you can effectively figure out any situation that may arise. Facets of Cunning. Analytical mind. You must be able to read body language and vocal tonality accurately, and be able to understand the covert subtext behind any overtly spoken words. As Illimitable Man said, quote, "Cold reading is the ability to make accurate deductions regarding an individual's psychological makeup from nothing more than looking at them. Warm reading is cold reading, but with time being spent interacting with the person, listening to how they talk, and observing their actions. It is inevitable that the deductions you make about a person's psychological makeup will be more accurate after spending enough time with them to do warm reading than if you were to only do a cold read. But nonetheless, both warm reading and cold reading are capabilities you must master to have any hope of navigating the game of power effectively. Communication is multi-layered. You should always understand what is being said, what is truly meant, and what may possibly be implied. The specific deductions that should be made from specific clues is culturally dependent, and changes from one time and place to another. In modern America, a man wearing a MAGA hat indicates he is politically right-wing, while a woman having blue hair indicates she is politically left-wing. Such deductions are so easy that even the least cunning among us could figure them out. To master the analytical mind facet of cunning, you must get to the point of being able to make deductions that are accurate, consequential, and not obvious to most people. Cold reading is easier in modern America than in most societies, in the sense that our time and place is one where you can know virtually everything about a person's worldview and political preferences with very little information about them. If they work in academia or journalism, they are probably left-wing and think Donald Trump is Satan. If they are in the military or work in finance, they are probably right-wing and think cutting taxes will magically create an economic utopia. In most societies, making accurate and thorough deductions about a person's worldview from such little information as their job title is difficult or impossible. The analytical mind facet of cunning must be distinguished from having a high IQ. To have a high IQ is to be capable of comprehending complexity, whether expressed verbally or mathematically. The analytical mind facet of cunning is the ability to read body language, vocal tonality, personalities, and social situations accurately. Autistic men often have sky-high IQs and are incredibly good at manipulating mathematical and verbal abstractions. They can do calculus in their sleep. But they are hopelessly incapable of reading body language or vocal tonality. They are entirely separate sets of abilities. Meanwhile, there are many women with only average or even below average IQs who could never learn calculus, but who can quickly analyze people's body language and vocal tonality with razor-sharp accuracy. Charm. Charm is the ability to make people view you positively, to make them like and trust you. When people like you, it makes them more inclined to help you and more hesitant to harm you. Conversely, when people dislike you, it makes them less inclined to help you and more willing to harm you. Charm is arguably the most important facet of cunning for the modern world. For most of the venues you face in modern society, particularly those where the stakes are high, Your ability to charm people will be a make or break factor. Job interviews? Charm the hiring manager and get a job. Fail to charm the hiring manager and be unemployed. Office politics? Charm your superiors and you will be promoted. Fail to charm your superiors and you will be fired, or kept around but never ascend. Sales and marketing? Charm your clients and they will buy from you. Many people will buy a product for no real reason other than because they like the salesman representing it. There is no surefire strategy for charming people, since what charms one person may offend another. Indeed, being reasonably good at cold reading is a basic requirement for being good at charm. You must be able to cold read people's personalities and present yourself in a way that will charm their specific personality. When attempting to charm, always take the sensibilities and biases of the specific target at hand into account. Persuasion. Persuasion. The ability to make people perceive that you are credible, what you are saying is true, and the ability to change people's opinions. This is often a make or break factor. Charm and persuasion are not the same thing, but they do correlate positively, in the sense that if you can charm someone, the probability of them being persuaded by what you say dramatically increases. If people like you, they are inclined to think that what you say is true, and if they dislike you, they are inclined to think that what you say is false. Generally speaking, persuasion is a laborious and risky activity. Most people rarely, if ever, change their mind once their initial opinion has been formed, and if you attempt to change a person's mind, they are likely to be offended that you have expressed disagreement with the opinion they currently hold. Most people are ego-invested in their opinions and beliefs. If you express any disagreement with them, they take it as a personal insult. As such, in most situations your best bet is to simply smile and nod. Maintain the pretense that you agree with their opinion, even if you don't. It is unwise to make enemies unnecessarily. Persuasion is laborious, not in the sense of being energy-intensive, but in the sense that it takes time. Most people who do change their opinion take a long time to do so, and your time would be better spent elsewhere. Only attempt to persuade someone if the matter is important enough such that it is worth the risk and the time, and you are convinced you have a reasonable chance of successfully persuading them. When persuading someone, do so as gently and politely as possible. To be harsh or blunt when correcting someone or changing their opinion, it's generally ineffective. It offends their ego and causes them to instinctively reject everything you say. It is usually ineffective to directly state that you think their current opinion is wrong. Instead, start by appearing to agree with their opinion, then gently express how you think their opinion might be slightly wrong. Directly expressing disagreement causes the other person to view you as an adversary who should not be trusted and whose words should be rejected. By appearing to agree with their current opinion, at least as a starting point, you cause the target to view you as an ally, someone who should be listened to. It is often the case that changing someone's opinion totally is impossible, but partially changing their opinion is doable. If a person insists that 2 plus 2 equals 8, it may be impossible to convince them that 2 plus 2 equals 4, but doable to convince them that 2 plus 2 equals 7. A moderate step in the right direction, to 7, is often sufficient for the purposes at hand. Getting them to the perfect destination of 4 is usually unnecessary. In life, you have 2 choices. Be an ignorant fool or a brilliant strategist. Buy the audiobook now to learn how to be the latter. Scroll down to find the link in the description. Click on the link. Purchase it now. Listen, to the entire audiobook from start to finish. Then, watch your life transform.